Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. Listen, I heard about this thing called trendsurfing, where you talk about something that's in the news. So I wanted to share my thoughts on Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I don't know how to do custom thumbnails on YouTube, so what I'm hoping is that when YouTube makes its own thumbnails, that one of the frames it picks is this one. Now I got this from my accountant, who was like, here's some free tickets from Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and he printed this. So thank you. To set some context, I wanted to talk about my experience with the movie Star Wars and other things. Star Wars came out in 1978. It was really good. I liked it. There was like Luke, Han. I liked Han a lot. I remember it was like years later, Super Star Wars came out for the Super Nintendo. It was a lot of fun and really cool. I got fixed up for this video, as you can see. I know everybody likes The Empire Strikes Back more than Star Wars, but I like Star Wars a lot. I thought it was just like a fun action movie. You can tell it's self-contained. I had an argument with my friend about this once, and I'm like, you can tell George Lucas, he didn't plan it like for all the other ones, or Empire and Jedi. He wasn't sure there'd be a sequel. And you can tell that there's that love triangle with Leia, who's later on Luke's sister or whatever. So there's that. So I know everybody likes Empire better, and Empire is like the better film. I can realize that objectively, but I enjoy Star Wars. It's some good stuff. So what comes after that is Empire, and that had Darth Vader. I guess they both did, really. This one introduces Yoda, who I don't like as much as everybody else does. Um, Bit of a sham, Yoda. But other than that, it was pretty good. Lando, I don't care about, but there's another movie, Jedi, and Jedi is usually the one everyone's like, and I'm like, yeah, okay, There's weird stuff in Jedi, like the Ewoks, but there you go. There was an arcade game, Return of the Jedi. It was like a three-quarters view thing where you were on a speeder bike and you were dodging trees, and I was never any good at it. It was an Atari game. I think it was really a recycled mini game from their version of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, but made into its own thing. But maybe not. Oh, all right. So let's get back on topic here. The prequel trilogy. I was one of those people when I saw the first one. Um, what the hell is it? Oh wow, I totally forgot. Oh, Phantom Menace, right? God, that was such a bad name. And I remember, I remember my brother asked me. I saw it before he did, and he was like, "Well, how was Star Wars Episode 1?" And let me put this up again so that YouTube hopefully gets the thumbnail. Hold on. So he saw the Phantom Menace. Oh no, I saw it, and he's like, "How was it?" And I was like, "It's good, but couple things. There's a really cool opening scene, and then it gets kind of boring for like a third of it. Then it gets good again. You should also know Jar Jar really is as bad as everyone was saying. Um, I really liked it. I thought Darth Maul was great. I don't know why they killed him off. He was cool. It kind of reminded me too. There is a game for the PlayStation called Star Wars Masters of Teraz Kazi, which was like this fighting game. I think other people on YouTube have covered that, but I don't know. It was kind of weird. There was like a story. I don't know why they added a story to it that like Luke taught everyone this martial art called Teraz Kazi, and I mean he could throw his lightsaber, and it's like that would just kill someone. I don't. Well, I don't know, fighting games are kind of like they have a lot of ludonarrative dissonance. I find fighting games, in fact, maybe more than any other genre. All right, well, I shouldn't make hyperbolic statements like that because ludonarrative dissonance is like it's in most games, really. Yeah, I kind of hate that term too. I used to call it like the sort of what is it like story gameplay disconnect. I call it. I think that's better. It's not as smarmy academic. I wish like academic terminology was a little better at like marketing and optics and stuff, but it's not. Man, I'm tired. Um, where was I? Before I should have mentioned some of this for context on how I feel about The Last Jedi, but Timothy Zahn, I think his name is, came up with a bunch of books about Star Wars. Um, oh wow, I don't remember the names of them. I know the last book was called The Last Command, but they had this guy in it named Grand Admiral Thrawn. I loved him. In fact, so this is really like where I got into the Star Wars extended universe a bit, and Grand Admiral Thrawn was great. And I would tell my friend like, okay, so if you got into a fight with Darth Vader would totally win. But if they were commanding armies against each other, Thrawn would win that one. He was like a really good strategist. And strategist is actually a race of aliens that are really good at strategy. You can read about it in my forthcoming Star Wars novel, uh, The Last Stand. Different from The Last Command. And where was I? Thrawn. I love Thrawn, and he had this guy with him. I think his name is Rook or Malariush. Not Ryuk, not from Death Note. I thought they had like a character named like Rukh Rook. God, it's been a while. And there are these little creatures called these Salamiri that you'd put on, and they would like make like a force void around you, and that's how you could like talk to Jedi. Because there was this crazy Jedi clone in it. Um, God, I haven't Jorus McBayoff, I think, and he had two U's in his name, and that was how you distinguished clones in the Timothy Zahn novels. Is they'd have an extra vowel in their name. Well, I shouldn't spoil it in case you want to read it. It's really good though. It's good stuff. Let's see. Oh, Tie Tie Fighter. For the Tie Fighter for the PC. That was a fun game. It was a fight simulator, and the thing about it, it was a follow-up to X-Wing. And what happened was Grand Admiral Thrawn's in that too. Okay, so like, gosh, what happens here? I forget. So at the beginning, right? Um, I remember playing it when I was younger, and Darth Vader is like, signal. I won't attempt the voice. Signal Grand Admiral Thrawn, and they go on to the Star Destroyer, and you see Grand Admiral Thrawn, and it's the first like official Lucas artwork or something of him. I guess not counting the book covers, but he goes, "This rebel base has no chance for escape. Commence the attack." And I couldn't even remember Jorus McBayoff's name. I'm not even sure that's right. And he was a big character in the extended universe, but I remember that Thrawn quote exactly. I'm not even going to look it up. In fact, you can look it up if you like, and determine whether or not I'm right and whether I should be a true Star Wars fan. I should be making this video about Star Wars The Last Jedi, The Force. So now I've come around on the Phantom Menace. Obviously, like even watching it back then, like you have to understand as like a Star Wars fan, it was like you'd see this cool shit where like they're fighting, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are fighting off everybody, and like there's like robots, and it was like, and those two robots rolled out of their own little force. This is great. And then it got boring for like 40 minutes or so, and there was like this underwater chase with a fish. I don't know. I kind of dug the pod racing, but then like other weird shit like happened, like I don't know, like that kid acting. Look, whatever. Red Letter Media handle it. I like those guys. They're funny. Now they got an endorsement from me too, so now you know they're gonna go places. Then they came out with Attack of the. I mean, I should have known from the subtitle, but that was really bad. And I don't get why I thought, I was like, they're gonna clone Darth Maul. That's not the last we saw of Darth Maul. How could it be? In fact, it's gonna be Obi-Wan versus two Darth Mauls to kind of like invert it from the last movie when it was like a 2-on-1 fight against Darth Maul. But they didn't do that. It was Count Dooku, which is like maybe the worst. That's a terrible name for an evil guy. I remember too when like Yoda was gonna fight with the lightsaber. I was in the theater and he goes, they're throwing force shit at each other and they stop and then people in the theater were like, um, oh yeah, Dooku goes like I forget the quote. He's like I see this won't be settled with our force moves. He doesn't say that, but he goes, but our skills with a lightsaber. And people in the theater were like murmuring, like, "Oh my god!" And I was just kind of like, I don't want to see Yoda fight with a lightsaber. I'm not even like a purist or anything. I just like I don't care. It's like he's gonna be this little guy, and just gonna go, and he's gonna do flips and stupid things, and that's what happened. And he even made noises like, ah! And it was it was terrible. And I think it would have been a lot better with the Frank Oz Muppet if they still had that, like kind of like how Sesame Street does it. Anyway, so that sucked. The third movie, I don't know. Like I didn't watch any of the extra stuff, so they're like, here's General Grievous. He has like 6 lightsabers and he's a robot. And I'm like, that sounds like an interesting character, but they don't like really go over him in the movie, and he dies like kind of right away. What a grievous error, including him, I say. That reminds me, do you ever notice in like the first New Hope A&H, there's like this drink that Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru have. It's like it looks like they pour it from like a squared off kind of pitcher, and it's like a milkshake, and it's in like a blue thing. Luke drinks it. I wonder what that was. You know what I was thinking about the other day, right? Like imagine an alternate timeline, right, where Luke and Obi-Wan go into that cantina, and that guy is like, you know, he's trying to like, he's like pissed off at Luke, like, my friend doesn't like you. I don't like you either. We're wanted men. I've got the death sentence in 3 systems. Luke's like, I'll be careful. And he goes, you'll be dead. And then Obi-Wan's like, this little one's not worth the trouble. Let me get you something. And then the guy goes, ah! He just yells. And then Obi-Wan cuts his arm off and whatever. And then everyone's just like, nah. Well, besides, like, who would go to that bar again? I want to see the alternate world where the guy's like, you're right, okay, you can get me a drink, that's alright. And then Obi-Wan has to buy the guy a beer. And then the guy, like, just starts talking Obi-Wan's ear off about his life and things, just like, I'm sorry about before, my wife, she has me haul these, vapor moisturizers. Is that the thing? That doesn't seem right, vapor moisture. And, you know, we're barely getting by. And then I found out she's cheating on me with a strategist from Strategery 4. It's like 6 parsecs that way. I feel like I can't catch a break, you know? And then, like, you go over here on Maz Eisley. It sucks, man. It sucks. I'm sorry about your friend. Is he old enough to drink? And then like the bartender is gonna turn away and like you didn't hear that because you know you can probably drink in the Mos Eisley Cantina underage if they have drinking laws like we do, which I have to imagine they do, because you're basically a pilot when you fly those little hovercrafts around and stuff. But then again, I don't know. It's like a rough place, right? So maybe anyway. So in the meantime, though, in the back, Greedo's looking around and finds Han Solo. Han shoots first. I think we're past the point where YouTube is looking for things in the thumbnail. I know I'm going to do this, like, as this kind of running gag, and it's not going to get one of them. In YouTube. What was I saying? Greedo. And I can't stand that Greedo's in everything. Like, he's this one-off character, and alright, it's funny somewhere or other, but then, like, in Phantom Menace, it's like, he's like a little friend of Anakin's. Like, what? Come on, you know, like, the world's not that connected. Or like in the third movie, when Yoda is just like, thank you, Chewbacca. You know, like, why is Chewbacca here again? Helping us? That's it. And then, like, Force Awakens came out, and I don't know, I liked it. I mean, I know people are like, it's so by the numbers, Star Wars. It's like, did you see what happened when we veered off the formula? Didn't go so well. Well, that's not true because I mean, the extended universe ones, the Timothy Zahn books, they weren't really that for me. I liked them a lot. They were great. On the one hand, I should read those again, and on the other, I'm like kind of afraid of it ruining my I don't know. More like hindsight 2020, like I'll reread them and I'm like, these weren't that good after all. I don't know. Oh, you know what I read after them? There was a book called The Courtship of Princess Leia. Well, I remember after the Timothy Zahn books, like all these Star Wars novels came out, and like The Courtship of Princess Leia was one of them. And I guess I should have just known from the name. They have a character in the Timothy Zahn books called Mara Jade. I think they made her canon. I don't know. I don't keep up with like Clone Wars and all that stuff, but I don't know. But there is another like kind of love interest for him. I forget her name, but she had one blue eye and one gray eye. I remember that. Um, anyway, and there's like a thing at the end where I think Han and Leia are about to get married, and it's like they find out Han is like royalty or something, so it's okay he can be married to her or whatever. Which I'm pretty sure was Spaceballs, which was a parody of Star Wars, but this book seemed to be doing it for real. And oh, and at the very end, C-3PO finds that out, but Luke turns him off so he can't ruin the wedding or something. And then there is this series of books about a female Imperial general and this thing called the Sun Crusher. And then I remember there is this band called Squeak, and they do like metal and stuff. And they have a song called Sun Crusher, which I didn't realize. And I was like, isn't that about the Star Wars books about the Sun Crusher? And that seemed like it was, yeah. So what happens then? Oh yeah, and the Imperial bad person's a woman, and she like had an affair, I think, with like Grand Moff Tarkin, who was in Rogue One, and I didn't know if they like I didn't realize that like they when they showed him, I didn't even just think like I should have thought like isn't that like is that computer generator? I mean, obviously like when they show Princess Leia at the end, I'm like what that whoa, I was on a plane to be fair when I saw Rogue One. You can't go to the theaters anymore; it's tough. So I had to make special exceptions. And the thing about Rogue One, I know like people didn't like it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I didn't know what the problem was. Freaking, what's his face? I can never remember. Right, K2SO, KS20, no K2SO, right? I love that character. I mean, that was good. I liked the main character, her. She was good. That guy she was with. I really did like the movie, but I can't remember their names. I guess that's a pretty bad sign. But it's a fun action movie. I mean, and that girl, what the fuck was her name? It wasn't Rey. That was from Force Awakens. It'll come to me. Matt. Let's call him Matt, and let's call her Swimmy. It's like they had to like stop the Death Star or something. Oh no, I thought that was good that they like kind of retconned it so the problem with the Death Star was an intentional thing put in. I mean, I don't know, like well, it's fucking Star Wars. What are people looking for? I just give me some fun lightsabers and don't be stupid. That's I think the only that should be the title of episode 9. Don't be stupid. It can like appear between the words Star and Wars, like anything. And we'll call it Star Wars DBS, and it'll be great. Yeah, that brings us to the Last Jedi. So, I've heard it's divisive. I can't wait to see it, and it's going to be pretty good. Right on time. Okay, well, listen. Thanks for watching, and I hope I hope the Force is with you, as it was with Swimmy and Mary or whatever Matt, whatever I named those characters. Just K2SO really stole the show. I'm sorry. All right, but take it easy, everyone.